Well, good morning, everyone. My name is Scott Morris. I am the game category manager for GTS Distribution. We are here with another one of our board game webinars where we get to have retailers and publishers talk directly and ask questions and talk about cool games and all kinds of fun stuff. Really do appreciate everybody taking the time to join. As always, I always remind everybody, everything is on the table. You're absolutely welcome to ask any kind of questions you'd like. If you are new to our live webinars, all you have to do is hover over your video window and there's a little chat bubble at the bottom. You're welcome to type in any kind of questions there. You can either send messages to all the panelists, which are myself and our guest Ken here, or you can send it to all panelists and attendees so that everyone will see it as well, so the other retailers who are part of the discussion can see your questions too. But feel free to ask anything you like. We'll work it in. We'll get things rolling. Today, I'm excited. Ken is here from Rio Grande Games, and we are going to talk about a couple of different things. We're going to get an update on Pictures, which is a very, very popular Spiels Yard game that's been going around this year that people have had in the stores and about to be coming back into the stores. And we're also going to talk about that beautiful thing that is over Ken's right shoulder there, the Beyond the Sun, which is a brand new release. If you've done well with Underwater Cities, you're probably going to want to check this one out. This is right up my alley. It's my level of game, my complexity of game that I really love and kind of fall into and sometimes get taken away by. So, but we're going to have some fun talking about these. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to pop them into the chat window. But with that, Ken, I will kick it over to you, let you get started.
Okay. Hello and good morning, everybody. I'm just going to try to get my screen set up here so I can share if I hit the right button. So thanks for joining this morning. Happy to be here. Always glad to talk to our trusted partners, our retailers. Quick recap, if I can ever get, come on, there we go. Okay, so who is Rio Grande Games? 21 plus years of great games. We were a pioneer in worldwide publishing and distribution. Obviously one of the very first companies to bring over the German titles, and started out, Jay Tubbleson, who was the owner of Rio Grande Games, started out many years ago with a strong belief in the games that were coming out of Germany and the other parts of the world. And he was really worked hard to bring a lot of those games over. Many award winners, many strong games over the years. And Dominion, Race for the Galaxy, Power Grid. And we're also kind of, at least I think we're very unique in the industry these days, that we have a very strong support for the distribution channel and retailers. We do no direct sales, no Kickstarters, no exclusives. So we really are, you can't come to our Rio Grande Games website and buy a game from us. We don't do Kickstarters. We 100% believe in the distribution channel, and our brick and mortar retailers are the backbone of our business.
You know, I got to hop in on that one real quick, because there are a lot, and I mean, and retailers will back me up on this. There are a lot of publishers that will say, I support brick and mortar. I want to support brick and mortar. I want to do everything I can to support brick and mortar. I cannot think off the top of my head of even 5, let alone another company that does exactly what you just said. Meaning no direct sales on their website, no Kickstarters whatsoever, no exclusive for anyone, market or any channel or anything like that. That is huge of a statement in a time where, honestly, it seems as though the barrier to become a publisher is very, very low, and being able to, go on crowdfunding and do your own platform, whether it's Indiegogo or a Kickstarter. And also at a time where, with the environment that we're living in, a lot of publishers have had to almost be forced to do direct sales to kind of keep up with the business and how the business is evolving right now. So the fact that you guys have stuck with that model and you have really, really focused on that's a huge statement, I think, for retailers. And, obviously you guys have been around for, nearly 25 years. So it's obviously working very well for you.
Yeah. And so just flash a couple of quick email addresses down here. Scott@riograndegames.com is our main customer contact. If you need promos, you need any kind of customer support type of thing, feel free to email him directly, or you can reach me for anything, kitchen sink stuff, Ken at Rio Grande Games. There's only 3 of us in the entire company, so it's pretty easy to get in touch with the right person, because there aren't that many right people. So anyway,
As long as there's no left people, that's okay.
that's right. There we go. All right, so Q4 products for us. Race for the Galaxy restock we've had and Jump Drive. Those were out of stock for quite a while. They're now back. I'm assuming that you can order those from GTS. Those just came back into stock after being out for about a year, and we hope to have a pretty decent supply of those for quite some time. Although in these days where everything on the evergreen titles seem to be selling extremely well, we'll just have to see. And we finally just last week got Roll for the Galaxy back in stock, and it will be going out to the channel and into retail here very, very soon. So if you haven't had a chance to stock Roll for the Galaxy lately, now's your chance. The digital version of Roll for the Galaxy was just released, so that usually means that there's a large uptick in the amount of interest in the physical game. So I encourage everyone to look into ordering some copies of Roll for the Galaxy as they come back in.
And just so everyone does know, GTS does have these on order. So if you don't see them at your local warehouse, just contact your GTS sales rep, shoot them an email or drop them a call. We'll make sure to either include them, make sure they're part of the restocks that we're doing, or make sure that we get them out to you from the warehouse that has them, if it may not be the closest one to you. So, but Rio is one of I've mentioned it a couple of times in our social media posts leading up to this webinar, but Rio Grande is one of our biggest partners. So we do our best to try and keep everything that they have in stock, at least in our main warehouses, which is the Washington, St. Louis, and Jacksonville warehouses in Florida. But if you do run into any issues with that, feel free to shoot me a note, or feel free to shoot your sales rep a note. We'll make sure to get you taken care of, because one of the nice things about Rio Grande, apart from all the right people and not being too many right people to get a hold of, they're very, very quick to reply, very, very quick to respond. And as long as they've got it in stock, we can get it in stock really, really quick.
Okay. So October, November timeframe, we have Beyond the Sun coming out, which we're going to talk a lot about here in a minute. We have another game called Blue Skies, which is going to be available here probably towards the end of October. That's a very old school kind of Euro game. Really looking forward to getting that one out. We have a pictures restock. We'll talk more about pictures in a second. And then Bonanza will be coming back into stock. That one has been kind of difficult to get recently. I don't know what your situation with GTS with Bonanza is, but that one, we do have more of those coming very soon. And then in December, we have Praga, Caput, Regni, which we're going to talk about a little bit. And then 2 more rail games, Trans-Siberian Railroad and Southern Rails.
Hey, Ken, quick question that came up. Julio, one of our retailers who is in Latin America, asked about getting Rio Grande Games in Latin America. I know our stuff right now is set up where GTS sells your product in US, North America. I don't believe that you're okay with us selling to LATAM, because I think if I remember right, you guys have a distributor in Latin America. Is that right?
Yeah, that's a Scott@RioGrandeGames.com question.
There you go. Okay, so Julio, if you want to shoot Scott at RioGrandeGames.com an email, he should be able to help you get set up. Scott is, while he's not here, Scott is possibly one of the nicest, if not the nicest person in gaming. The guy is just super happy all the time and super really helpful. So he's a good guy to get a hold of.
Yeah, and he'll be able to give you the lowdown on what the situation is for Latin America. All right. So a quick update on pictures. For those of you who weren't aware, it did win Spiel des Jahres in 2020. This is Game of the Year in 2020. Obviously, as soon as it got nominated for the main prize, as we like to call it, we immediately reached out to our partner PD Verlag and asked them to get as many copies on order as we possibly could. And and then it won Spiel des Jahres in July, and so we basically said, let's get them here as fast as we can. So these will be arriving starting. We got a small shipment in last month, and we are also expecting many more shipments between now and the holidays. We will keep bringing them in until we can meet all the demand. But one very exciting piece about this is we did actually drop the retail price down to $39.95. to try to make this game more affordable so for families and things. This is a terrific game. You play it with your family, play it with your friends. It's a good time, and a lot of families are kind of stuck together. This is a great one. You can get some, even the younger kids somewhat involved in it. It's a really visual game. People have a lot of fun with it. And the new edition is actually have a lot more picture cards in it. The first edition only had like 90 cards. The new edition has many more cards, and they're double-sided. So the length of the game, or the legs of the game, will be even better. But really excited about this one. This is our we've kind of lost track, 11th Spiel des Jahres winner, something like that we've been involved in. So we're super proud and happy about this. And it will be coming back in slowly, as fast as we can get them here. We will.
You guys are kind of like the New York Yankees of the Spiel des Jahres. It's hard to keep up with how many you've won.
Yeah,
I
well,
think
Jay and I had this conversation between his personal involvement in his previous life with older publishers, plus the games that we picked up. I think he's been involved directly or indirectly with 18.
Wow,
SDJ winners.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Pictures is also timing wise, it's phenomenal, right? Because leading into the holiday season, there's a lot of retail feedback that we get that people are looking for these family type games that are, $30 or $40 or less, really easy things that they can put on display, because especially even still now with everything going on with COVID, there's a lot of, is it going to get worse? Is it going to get better with leading into the colder months and everything? But I know a lot of retailers are relying on displaying games either in windows or just as you walk in the store, being able to have that ahead of time and make sure that it's something that you can put out in front of the retailers or in front of the customers is a good thing for the retailer. So great holiday game. Derek just said, Scott, on GTS's website, picture still has a $44.95 retail. Well, that's really weird. I will get that fixed, Derek. It's supposed to be $39.95, so we'll make sure to get that updated.
Yep. I was going to say, I know I updated our website, so
that can be done very, very easy.
Mm-hmm. All right, so now to the main attraction for today. I want to talk about Beyond the Sun. This is a game that I personally signed to a contract. I first saw the original prototype about 2 years ago this week, and this is a tremendous game. I know it's kind of, I'm excited about all of our titles, but this game I think is one that I really believe in. It's such an interesting game. It blends some really interesting mechanics, familiar mechanics that are all gamers who would like them, like a medium to heavyweight game, know and love. But it's got a super strong theme, tons of replayability. I mean, it's just customers who really like Race for the Galaxy, Terraforming Mars, those kind of games are really going to gravitate towards this one. I had it up behind me. This is a big box. It is the size of it's a power grid size box, and each one of these puppies weighs in at about 7 pounds. So there's a lot in the box. We have dual layer player boards. We have custom dice. We have custom, really nice components all the way throughout. The art was done by Franz Vohwinkel, who I like to call him the godfather of German game artists. He's been doing art for games in Germany and across the globe for more than 30 years, and he really does an amazing job. And I think most people agree that the cover is just stunning. And this seeing it here, just on the flat, doesn't do it justice. It looks great on the shelf. I mean, this is something that people are going to walk by in the store and go, "Ooh, hey, what's that? That's really looks amazing." But I've been very, very, very excited about this game. We've poured a lot of effort to make sure that this thing came out it is as good as we can make it, and I think people are going to be really thrilled to play this. The interest level in this for us is just off the charts at this point. For a brand new designer, Dennis Chan, who is out of the Boston area, I have over 100 150 requests for review copies right now. And I think this is just going to be an amazing game for us, and I'm super excited about it. So let's talk a little bit about how to play Beyond the Sun. So it's the 23rd century, and Earth is kind of screwed up. You know, it's like we can't stay here anymore. It's just too bad, but we have to leave. So everyone's come together, and we've just figured out how to travel through space to reach other systems. So each player is playing a faction, and you can see in the play photo here that there are these white player boards down here in the corner. Can I show those? Each player is going to have one of these player boards that they're going to use to manage their population and their production. And each one of these has a special power associated with it. And turns are really simple. Every player chooses an action on their turn, executes it, and then produces resources. You've got to really be careful about how you manage your resources, and you also have to watch what your opponents are doing because, hey, they're trying to do the same things as you are. The tech tree, which is the center of the board, is really the centerpiece of the game. 4 technologies come out at the beginning of the game, the same 4 every game, but they're in different positions on the board, and where they come out makes a difference. And then the tech tree itself, which is this area, as it opens up during the game, makes that every game is going to be very different. We also have an exploration board over here where you're flying out into space with your ships, trying to conquer or colonize, establish colonies in these star systems. And again, there are many of these cards. The way that they come out is variable. Every game is going to be unique and different. And I've played this game probably 50 times, and no 2 games are ever the same. It's just a terrific game. People who like this genre and enjoy this kind of game are going to eat this up. So we're super excited about this one. And there's going to be a lot of support for this game. We have a trailer already on our website. I know Scott likes trailers. And we also have a playthrough from Heavy Cardboard was done about 2 weeks ago. We have John Gets Games is going to be doing a tutorial. That'll be coming out this week. And we have early review copies going out to some real heavy hitters. Man vs. Meeple, Rado runs through it, and of course the Dice Tower. So all of those reviews and information about the game will be available before the game releases, which will be sometime in late October. So I think this is going to be a tremendous game for us. We're really looking forward to getting it out there and letting people kick the tires. But
and ironically, a kind of counter to how good of a game Pictures is for the holidays, being that it's a lower price point and an easy game to get into, Beyond the Sun is going to scratch the itch of those alpha gamers, the people who normally would be going to BGG Con, one of the biggest small shows, as I call it, every year in November. And that's usually the time that, people are focused on the Essen releases in October. They're looking at the heavier games that come out of Germany or out of Europe in general. And they're scratching for this kind of thing, and they're looking for this kind of thing. And Underwater Cities has obviously been extremely successful, but this is almost like, to me, a spiritual successor to that in the terms of how complex the game or how challenging the game is, but obviously completely different, completely new play style, new designer, new game altogether. And I'm really looking forward to this one. So I think it's a great 1-2 punch to have both the family game that's really good for the holidays at a good price point, but that really deep immersive strategy game for the traditional hobbyists as well.
All right, Scott, well, let's move on. Speaking of Underwater Cities, thanks for that segue. The same designer, Vladimir Sushi, out of the Czech Republic, has designed his next game. It's called Praga, Caput, Regni, and this is basically it's in Latin for Praga, heart of the empire. So in the 14th century, during the Holy Roman Empire, Prague suddenly became the capital, And so Vladimir Sushi, who's from the Czech Republic, this is sort of his love letter to Prague. This is another game that has got a tremendous amount of initial buzz. People have been talking about this one on BGG, and Facebook and Twitter traffic on this one has been really strong. We're expecting this to do as well as Underwater Cities, if not more. We've got a lot of them on order, and I'm beginning to wonder how long they're going to last, because it's just getting that much attention. Again, it's in that same spot, 90 to 120 minute play time. It's going to be your medium to heavy gamers. This one should be out. I say December. We don't have an exact production date yet. They've assured me that we will get them before the holidays. But this is another one to keep your eyes out for. This one's going to do really, really well for us. And I'm super excited about this one as well. Played some early prototypes, helped translate the rules and do a lot of proofreading on the rules myself. And this is not quite as heavy as Underwater Cities, I would say. It's a little bit lighter, maybe a smidge more approachable, but again, lots of variability. The board and everything else looks terrific. It's got a 3D, there's some 3D portions of the board. And this game also will have some wooden components in it, and we also spent a little extra money to reinforce the box bottom to make sure that everything fits in nicely, and we'll so we tried to put some extras in here for our version of the game. So I'm looking forward to this one as well. Go ahead, Scott.
I was going to say, just so retailers know, we do not have this set up in the system just yet. We're waiting on some final details from Scott at Rio, but he's got all that, and hopefully, if not today, at least tomorrow, we'll be able to get an answer and get that all set up. So if this is something that you want to pre-order and you're looking for and you can't find it, it's not that it's spelled wrong. It's not that you're spelling it wrong or anything like that. It's just that we just haven't gotten it set up yet. But we should have it within the next 24 to 48 hours.
Yep, the sell sheet was done, and it should have gone out to whoever at GTS does that setup. Should have gone out to there on Friday. So if you don't have it, then we can get in touch with Scott.
Yeah, we had an email, and we didn't get the solicitation with it, so we sent an email back to him, and he's
okay. I'm sure he'll take it.
Should be pretty simple.
And there are really nice sell sheets for both Praga and Underwater Cities. I'm sorry, Praga and Beyond the Sun. There's a nice one for Underwater Cities too. And so if you want to take a look at those, I'm sure GTS makes those available as well. All right. And I have no idea what time it is, but I think I'm getting close to the end here.
Oh, you are totally okay. Take as much. We book it for an hour, but you can take as much time as you need, sir.
All right. So just few more things to talk about in 2021. We've got another big year coming. We have Dice Realms from Tom Lehman, which is what we like to call Dominion with customizable dice. This is going to be huge for us. Big box, lots of stuff in it. We started showing this off at Gen Con a year ago, and we're just in the final stages of finishing up production. We expect this probably first quarter. We also have an expansion for New Frontiers queued up. We're going to have Race for the Galaxy expansions that are going to be refreshed for the second edition. I have another big space game called Space Station Phoenix, which is shaping up really nicely. Working on the rules right now. The presentation on this one is going to be phenomenal. The folks that really enjoy the big heavy space games are really going to be into that one. And this one you get a sneak peek of the game that I'm super excited about, Art Deco. It's a deck builder. Lot of custom art, a lot of time and effort have gone in to make sure that this is a real nice game. We're hoping to keep this price point affordable, hopefully in the $35 to $40 range. But we think this is a deck building game. It's amazing. The the initial prototype was sold. A few hundred copies of the initial game were sold at Essen a couple of years ago, and we get questions all the time. And when's our version coming out? And this one we're just in the process of finishing up and trying to get scheduled for production. So that'll be early 2021. And trust me, we'll be doing a webinar about this one if I have my way, probably sometime in January.
You are always welcome back, always.
And we have a full slate of other things. Of course, we've been working extremely hard to keep our core games in stock. Race and Roll for the Galaxy should be in stock now. Bonanza, Power Grid, Dominion, and all the expansions. We're continuing to bring over many containers full of Dominion. And if you need Dominion promos, you need promos for Power Grid, you need promos for basically any of the games that we have promos for, just reach out to Scott and we'll fix you up with promos. That's something that we do, and we're very happy to do that to help promote sales within the retail stores.
And it's a good thing to point out too. I know you mentioned it real briefly at the beginning of the webinar, but a couple of people have sent me some Facebook messages asking about how they can get demos for their stores or display items for their stores. Scott is definitely the best person. And when we're saying Scott, we don't mean me. We actually mean Scott at Rio Grande. So Scott at riograndegames.com. I've put his email in a couple of times in webinar chat. But if you have any questions, you can always reach out to me and I can get you in touch with Scott as well too. Rio does a great job of supporting the retailers for stuff like that, if you need promos or if you need demos for the store or anything like that. So it's a good opportunity and a good resource.
And if you can't remember the email address, you can go to our website, hit the contact us button, and that basically goes right to Scott. So he can fix you up from that direction as well. But I can't emphasize enough how much we want to support our local game stores. This is really the lifeblood and our bread and butter. So we're here to help support you, and we're always welcome to have feedback. And I think we're going to finish 2020 with some strong showing, and we're going to keep the momentum going through 2021. And I'm super excited to be able to share all this stuff with you today.
Another really nice thing to talk about is that you guys, and obviously being around for as long as you've been, for almost 25 years, this has not really been a very challenging year in terms of timing for you guys for things. You haven't had to see a lot of slips in manufacturing or any issues. Really, the biggest challenge for you guys has been the uptick in demand and people looking for more of your games and just keeping them, in stock and flowing and things like that. So it's actually been a really, really good year from that perspective. I agree wholeheartedly with you. Between Pictures and Beyond the Sun and the other titles that are going to be releasing before the end of the year, I think it's going to be a really strong showing both for the holidays, but also leading retailers into that Q1 timeframe where, people are starting to spend their money that they received from holiday bonuses and things like that. So it's a great lineup of multiple different games for multiple different types of players, which is really awesome. There were a couple of questions real quick that came in through the webinar chat. Derek had asked about a couple of the games being set up on the website, Caput being the most important one. That one, like I mentioned, we're waiting on just a couple of items from Scott real quick at Rio Grande, and then we'll have that set up. So that should be today or tomorrow if you need to pre-order that and get that on. I have personally had a chance to see Dice Realms, and I have to admit, I agree wholeheartedly with Ken. The comment of Dominion with customizable dice is the easiest way to describe the game. And if you have players that play Dominion, which I think almost everyone I've ever met in this hobby has played, then it's obviously going to be a really, really good one for you guys to check out and take a look at. And obviously from the cover alone, it looks gorgeous. So it's good stuff.
Yeah, and don't worry, we'll be back to cover Dice Realms.
Yes.
And Art Deco. Dice Realms has, I forget the number, so don't quote me on this, but it's something like 600 different dice faces. So
it's amazing.
There's a lot going on in there. So it's taken us a little while to arrange all the production and everything. So, but it's coming, and we just have there's just a lot happening in 2021, and we're super excited.
That's awesome. Well, Ken, there's no more questions that have come in, but I just wanted to say thank you very much for coming and talking to our retailers. As always, this is a great opportunity for them to get information about you guys as a company and as people, and then the games that you're releasing and what's coming up. So I really do appreciate it. And retailers, thank you. We've had a good amount of people kind of pop in a couple minutes late, but really do appreciate y'all taking the time to join. I know there's no perfect time for these, between East Coast, West Coast, and all of that. But just as a reminder, if you missed anything or if you want to go back and check out any of the details, we will be posting this to YouTube later today. You can check that out on our YouTube channel. But if you have any questions, you can always reach out to me directly. My email is smorris, MORRIS, at gtsdistribution.com. Or as Ken mentioned earlier in his presentation, it's Ken at Rio Grande Games or Scott at riograndegames.com, and either one of them will be able to help you out and set you up. So with that, I really want to say thank you again. I really appreciate it, and I hope everyone has a great week in their stores.